So you want to know what I've learned after 150 hours in Apex Legends. You want to know what are the 5 takeaways that I can give you as a newer player, maybe a player who's been playing a while, and you just want to know another player's similar experiences. Well, that's what this video is about. Hopefully me saving you some trouble, maybe giving you some tips, and also giving you just some general advice and experience that I've had after my first 150 hours of playing this great game. Now, we all have our growing pains, and we all have things that make sense to us at first, but some things take a while to really get into our heads for us to really understand, and that's why I'm trying to make this video. So hopefully you don't have to be stubborn, you don't have to go through any of these crazy growing pains, and you can just hear a little bit about what works and what doesn't work, and things that I figured out after putting a lot of time into this game and making a lot of videos. From the weapons I use to the buffs and nerfs I feel like should be taking place, and also to how I found myself getting more wins than not in Apex Legends. That's what this video is going to be about. So hopefully you enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you liked or any of your experiences as well you'd like to relate to, and leave a like if you enjoy the video. The first thing I learned in Apex Legends, and maybe the most important thing to being successful, is to trust your instinct. I mean, you know how people always feel like, it's about to rain. I don't know why, but it's about to rain, and then suddenly it does rain. Like, that's that instinct that I'm talking about. In Apex Legends, a lot of times you'll be like, I feel like someone's around me. I feel like a team is approaching us. Be careful, guys. And that team will actually try to take a shot at you maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds later. But you have to trust your instinct and tell your teammates about it. I mean, I had this great experience where me and my friend were fighting in a very bad 3v3. We were caught in the middle, and my buddy was saying, I don't like this spot. But what's amazing is I was thinking the exact same thing before he even said it, but I didn't say anything. I'm like, well, we're doing it. We're here. He's leading, whatever. But I didn't say anything. The second he said it, I'm like, yes, I feel the same way. We rotated, we let them fight each other, and we ended up winning the entire game. And sometimes that's just all it is. It's just trusting your instinct, knowing I'm in a bad spot. I need to move. I need to listen to my gut saying this is not the time for me to be here. Now, it's not always perfect. You can't always know what's going to happen 2-3 steps ahead, but sometimes you do get that feeling, and I encourage you to listen to it. Very much like in life, if somebody gives you a bad vibe, think that might be there for a reason. Maybe this person isn't for you for whatever reason. Maybe they're going through something you don't want to get involved in. Maybe they're just bad news and you should stay away. Sometimes those inner instincts are really valuable, and in a Battle Royale, a survival game, I think it mirrors a lot of the things we may come across in life as well. If that's giving you a bad vibe, maybe head the other way. The second thing I learned is that gun does not maketh man, man maketh gun. Now, I love weapon tier lists. I mean, I'd be a liar to say I didn't, because my first million view video was ranking and explaining all the weapons in Apex Legends. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It goes over all the guns. But the one thing that I learned very quickly after that is that no matter what a gun does on paper, how it feels in your hand with your sensitivity, your aim, your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse is very, very different. Listen, I'm not afraid to admit that I miss half of my shots on the wingman, okay? I know it's OP, but I still can't hit half my damn shots. And I'm not upset. I'm just acknowledging the truth of life. That is what happens when I pick up that gun. And for you, you may have a similar experience. So the wingman could be the highest gun. It could be freaking Mount Valhalla of guns, just reigning above all the others. But if you can't hit your shots on it, what does it matter? It's one thing to try to say, I'm gonna suck for a while to get good at the wingman. But if you're giving up a gun you just had a great firefight in, maybe an R99, you're really good at tracing and lining up shots when people are moving and getting that fast, assault rifle play or that light machine gun play, and you really enjoy that, switching to a wingman doesn't make any sense. I mean, trust the fact that you had a good fight, you just won, you're using that gun well, keep going. In my 150 hours of playing, whenever I've tried to switch to the OP gun or the thing that's like, I'm loving the EVA 8 right now, but there's a Peacekeeper, you gotta take the Peacekeeper, or here's a Mastiff, you gotta take the Mastiff, and I'm really enjoying my Spitfire, like Havoc combo or whatever. It just is, I feel like I let myself down, because truthfully, I'm like, I'm just taking this because it's supposed to be better. Like, not that I really want to take it. I do think that was a bit rambly, but I think it got the point across that if you have a gun that works for you, use it. You can make any gun very viable in this game. You could kill anyone with any gun except the Mozambique. You know what? Here's the thing. The funny thing is about the Mozambique or the Mozambique or the Mozambique, whatever you want to call it, I actually think that this gun has some potential. It needs a way faster reload speed, though. I will tell you that. I've been thinking about the Mozambique recently, so if you guys want to see a video, if you guys want me to cover that at all, let me know. I've got some things I've been planning. And that being said, for those who want some more concrete information to finish up this point, is that yes, every weapon is going to be different. You could be a boss with any weapon in this game as long as makes you work on it, or maybe it fits your personality or aiming style or your play style. But what I found to be really successful is really, I think, the R99, R301, I think the Peacekeeper EVA 8. I actually have started to prioritize the EVA 8 over the Peacekeeper. Of course, the Wingman, if you can use it. And I think the Spitfire is an incredible weapon that I usually don't give up. If I have that early, I usually keep with it for the rest of the game if I have enough ammo. I really think that it's just turning into more of a mid to close range type of meta where aggression usually wins. If you overwhelm someone, it's very hard for some person to 1v3, right? And so I think that's really what's turning out to be the most successful way to play Apex Legends at this moment. We'll see if that changes, but I just haven't found a lot of sniper play to really be extremely successful against me. Now, the third thing I've learned after 150 hours of Apex Legends is that hitboxes really matter. Now, I cannot verify from my own personal testing in-game with a friend that the Gibraltar, the Pathfinder, or the Caustic have bigger hitboxes than everyone else, but what is seemingly common knowledge right now in Apex Legends is that they do. I don't know where this got started from, but ever since I thought and heard that, I started to see that it was way easier, in fact, and this could be placebo, to hit these characters. Now, one thing that is for sure is that their models are much bigger than the Lifeline, the Bangalore models. That is for sure. And so it would reason to think that if you can shoot their model at all, they would then thus have a bigger hitbox, right? If you, unless bullets are flying through the right shoulder of the Gibraltar and they're only going to the length of the height of the Lifeline, right, or something like that, then maybe, you know, that's not true. But I feel like because of their big size, they have incorporated a bigger hitbox for some of these characters. I think the way that Apex has done it, though, is they've given these characters defensive traits or mobility traits to be able to counteract the fact that they're bigger. But what that ends up meaning is that they're just easier to hit, and overall you get hit more playing these characters. That's my experience. So you guys ready for the hard truth? I know it is a hard truth because I am the guy who plays every character. I've got wins with all of these characters. I have played and got video for all of them in all of my videos. I love all of these legends. They're great. But the problem is I win more with Lifeline. I win more with Wraith. You know, I win more with Bloodhound and Bangalore. And I think everyone else does as well. I mean, I don't know if we have any stats released. I haven't checked it out, but my personal experience, and maybe it's placebo, maybe I'm thinking it and thus I'm seeing it, is that it's just easier to win with certain legends than others. Other legends have a harder path to get to the end goal than other ones. I mean, Lifeline's passive, Bangalore's passive, they do better in a Battle Royale setting, in my opinion, than Gibraltar's, you know, slow-moving shield you have to use in an ADS. Hitboxes aside. And so I found that it does matter if you want wins, if you're trying to be as successful as possible and getting dubs. I found that the Pathfinder, the Caustic, and the Gibraltar are very difficult to succeed with in comparison to some of the other top three legends like the Mirage, the Lifeline, and of course the Bangalore. Now, I know there is a guy out there who's a 10,000 hour Caustic main who's looking at me sideways, and I just want to say I'm sorry, okay? I can't do it. I'm not as good as you are. And you know, if that's you the Caustic main, you're the Gibraltar main, you're the Pathfinder main, keep doing you. But in my experience, if maybe you're a general player, or maybe you're just starting out and you want the easiest time, or you want to just jump in, not deep dive, just jump in, you know, tip your toes in the pool of Apex Legends, that's my advice. I think Caustic and Gibraltar and Pathfinder are a little harder to have success with versus some of the other legends I've mentioned, like Lifeline, Bangalore, or Wraith. So take it with a grain of salt, take it as you will, but that's my advice. If for some reason you do not agree with me on that, or you have a different opinion, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. The number 4 most important thing I realized about Apex Legends after 150 hours is that the most important time in the game is when 8 to 10 squads are left. Now, you may not realize this. It may seem like, oh, my early game is important, or my late game, my last 3 squads are really important. But the 8 to 10 squads is really where I find the magic happen. This is what we call the mid game. After the early game, not quite till the last 3 squads left, and you pretty much know where everybody is, or you've already seen one squad, you're just looking for the other. This is where basically there is going to be one fight for each squad. Every squad, there's 5 on the battlefield, every squad's going to fight another squad right now. Maybe there's 4 left. It's 8 teams left. Every squad runs into another squad, and if you win that fight, you're in a top 3 or top 4. That's basically all you need to know. But when you see 10 teams, it feels like you are so far away from being in that top 2, top 3, top 4 situation, but it's because every team is running into one team that really you got to cut that number in half. Imagine that one gunfight puts you into a top 3, another gunfight wins the game. And so take your time, get really focused, play smart, don't just rush around. This is where a lot of people get bored, they find themselves moving, and I see a lot of my friends, they just like start holding the W key, you know what I'm saying? They just run in, no skills, no direction, they're just holding W like their mouse broke and they're on auto run from WoW, trying to power level or something. And you're just like, hold on, man, this is actually the most important time. I found that if you win that fight, more so than not, you get yourself in a top 3 situation. And then it's a top 3. There's only 2 other teams, there's no hecticness, it's just can you hit your shots, can you take smart positions, do you have decent communication, and you usually can get more wins that way. One of the best things is that you get this great level up of gear, you get all the extended mags, you get all the stuff you've been kind of looking for but don't quite have on your weapons yet, and when you get all that stuff, it becomes so much easier to win the game. So trust me, at about 8 to 10 squads left, that's when you want to focus up. It's only 2 full fights away, if every team has 2 full fights, from basically getting a dub, so treat it like that and you will find more success. That's been my experience in Apex Legends. Now in my channel, I try to give you a different POV, a different perspective, help you to think positively. I'm not trying to bash at all. I want to help you guys, raise you up, and make you feel good after you watch my videos. And this last one is a bit of a game changer, because this is something that as a competitor, as a guy who played D1 soccer, who was drafted professionally, who has been a very competitive guy from birth, I found was really enlightening for me. It's that every time you win, someone else has to lose. Coming from a competitive background at UCLA, getting drafted to DC United, playing soccer my entire life, and just being competitive in general, it was hard for me to understand that when I wasn't winning, something wrong wasn't happening, right? Like, I thought that if I wasn't winning, then the world was going upside down. Like, I should be winning. But every time I'm losing, I'm giving someone else the experience of winning themselves. Maybe it's their first game that they've ever won. Maybe they were the ones who out-rotated, who paid a little bit more attention in that 8 to 10 squad moment, and just found themselves in the high ground when I was on the low ground and maybe checking my side monitor. All of these things could contribute to why I lost. But in the same vein, they're the reasons why we win games. We listen to these tips, we get the right guns, we find our instincts tell us where to move, and we get the jump onto an opponent that is not suspecting us. All of these things come back as a circle of life kind of style, right? Where your success has to be someone else's failure in this game. And the same way, when you fail and you're that champion squad that just barely goes down at the second place, you've given someone else a chance to shine. It's what makes Battle Royales great, but it's what makes gaming and competition great. And if you handle that with grace, if you handle that with the awareness that sometimes it is your turn to win and sometimes it's not, then I think you're going to have a much better time in Apex Legends. See, the great thing about this is that we realize that we have to participate in order to give someone that experience. 57 of us have to be willing to die and not be champions for that one team to rise above the rest. And it's kind of a beautiful, message in my opinion, to say that, we all are agreeing that it's not going to be our time every single day, every single moment. And we play with the knowingness that we're going to have fun along the way. And one day we're going to make the right decisions and we're going to be on top. If you could take that approach from Apex Legends or from life into Apex Legends and in Apex Legends into life, I think you will be happier. I think you will appreciate the moments you have failures, because you will realize they are on the stepping stones for allowing you to move forward as a player and as a person. Now, we are essentially done with the video, but I've got bonus tips, so you do want to stay for this as well. The first bonus tip is that nuances apply to everything, not just life, but in Apex Legends specifically. A lot of people in my 5 ridiculous things that Apex Legends players do said, one shot is a good call if they're one shot. You're right. One shot is a bad call, though, if he's not one shot. Or if he's one shot, you say that, and then he heals, you watch him heal, and you don't say anything else. That is misleading to your teammate, because now he's not one shot, and you've put him in a bad position, or her, or whoever it is. At the end of the day, too, combat resing is bad if someone's actively shooting both of you, but it may be the only thing that you can do. You may be dead if you try to stay alive. You know you won't win that firefight, and your homie's the carry. You may just have to go for it. Trust your gut. There are extenuating circumstances for every hard and fast rule in life, and I'm a big believer in that. Every situation is slightly different, so do what you feel is best in that moment with what you know. Lastly, I think that one of the things we've learned, the second bonus tip and thing that I've learned over my 150 hours is that Respawn has been incredibly active in their patches. We've seen a couple patches go through that have actually silently nerfed a few things, and this was very quickly. We saw the flight get nerfed. I've been feeling last night that you can't fly over those walls and do the kind of A and D flight movement that you used to do where you look up that I showed in my last video. You no longer, I think, can do one of the exploits of reloading very quickly for either the Peacekeeper or the Kraber or one of those weapons. I think there's some very smart, very agile developers over at Respawn that are doing a hell of a job keeping this game on point and on task. And with the introduction of the Havoc in a pretty fun, versatile, but not OP way, I have a lot of confidence for the studio and this game going forward. Overall, the biggest thing I've learned in Apex Legends is that it's a great game that I like playing, and I want to continue playing, and I will continue playing, doing content for on the channel alongside my other games as well. Right now, I'm still in that phase of, man, I just got to play this every day, and I'm sure that will wane eventually, but right now, I just am having a blast with it. And I think if you're new, if you're looking to get into the experience of Apex Legends for the first time, hopefully this video has guided you towards a direction that you feel comfortable. Again, I'll suggest it, but if you feel that it's something you want to play, go ahead, download it, enjoy it, and have fun. I appreciate you all watching, listening, and supporting the channel. It has been fantastic to see these new faces and these bright, bushy eyes here for the Apex Legends content. I appreciate it. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you for the next one. Have a great Saturday, my friends. Remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I will see you all next time.